This is the tallest drop ride ever built in vanilla Minecraft, and today I am going to be building it alongside an immersive themed land to fit it in. And this is all part of my project to build every single possible working vanilla Minecraft theme park ride and place them all into one beautiful theme park. Well, beautiful is still a strong word, but we are surely getting there. Oh my goodness! Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a Theme Park. And today we are starting off in our boardwalk area where in between episodes I built some magnificent mountains to go in the background. This is going to be our beautiful backdrop for the boardwalk area and the surrounding areas here. And oh my goodness, these mountains, they took a long time, and there's still a lot of work to do on these mountains. I definitely have to add a waterfall going through here, going to the lake that we have for our theme park. I also added a third level to our Fly a Swine attraction, and finally, I got rid of the central paths that went out to the outsides because I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna go yet, and I feel like that was a little bit too premature. So I redid the circle, added some blue dots on each of the edges, and that's where we're gonna connect the different paths to, and our park still looks like a flower. But it is time to get to work on our amazing drop ride. But first, how is it gonna work? Welcome to Demonstrations with Opticality, where today we're gonna teach you how to build the best drop rides possible in vanilla Minecraft. Let's get going. Our designs are going to be building upon our hanging ride designs from the last episode, so if you want to know more about how those work, go and check that out. But we're going to be taking it to the next level today with these two drop ride designs. Our first design looks pretty complicated, but it's actually very simple. All it is a bubble vader out the back. The bottom block is not a source block. Instead, there is a water bucket inside of a dispenser, so if I press this button, it would shoot a water bucket into this block, make it a full bubble column, and trigger all of these observers to trigger all of these dispensers that also have water buckets in them to make another bubble column here for our little cats to go on an adventure. It's gonna go straight up to the very top of the tube when it all gets turned into a water vader. And then our dispenser back here is gonna get powered a second time, taking this water back out, triggering all the observers once again, which is gonna take all the water back out again, and then the cat's gonna fall right back down to where he's at. And it's okay because cats don't take any fall damage. They're strong little ones. So when I hit this button, it's going to trigger two things. It's going to hit this repeater and this repeater. This one's just going to trigger it for the first time. Then it's going to go around all of this delay all the way back around and trigger it the second time, which is going to turn off the machine. So this redstone repeater line can be extended as far that way as needed to make the delay longer, so you can have more time stuck at the top. And you can also extend it vertically as high as you want it to go to make the drop tower taller. Oh, these poor pigs. Are you ready for a ride? Let's give it a try. As you remember, we got to hook it onto the boat on the side, shift click it onto the cat up here, and it's going to be led. Then we can get on the pig, press the button, and here we go. We're going to go up. Oh, goodness. Ah! That was scary. I'm terrified right now. And our second design is even simpler. Using the hanging ride concepts from last episode, we're just gonna make a roller coaster, just like so, and it's gonna go over some rails and it's gonna hit a wall. And the wall is important is so that it can be lined up just like this design, and the cat's gonna go into this bubble vader and bring the ride all the way up the drop tower, and then go alongside this packed ice and drop down. And this design is infinitely customizable. Let's give it a try. We're gonna get on the pig, press the button. Gonna go along the rail, up the water vader, along the ice, down the chute, oh, and back around to the start again. Extremely simple and extremely fun. But for today's episode, we're gonna be focusing on this first design. I might use this one in a later ride where we can have some different sized ups and downs. But for today, we're just building a simple drop tower. It's gonna go straight up and straight back down again. And now that we know how it's gonna work, let's get to building. My idea for this drop tower ride is to be in its own immersive themed land. I want all of the trees around here to start getting bigger and bigger until it becomes blades of grass that are the size of trees. You are becoming smaller and smaller as you walk through into this land. And it's going to be swampy. It's going to be a lot of water, a lot of marsh, a lot of foliage, lily pads, and we're going to have a giant crocodile. At the end, inside of the swamp, we're gonna have a crocodile sticking its head out of the ground with the drop ride going through its mouth. Yes, it's kind of weird. It's an idea I had. I thought of a lot of different ideas. This was hard. I wanted to make it look good and also be in a themed land and also be a drop ride and also be colored red. So yes, there was a lot of things to consider and I hope this turns out good, but I think it's time. Let's get this ride and this land built in the theme park. All right, here we are back in the flashback scene where I am watching myself dig out this lake to make it about 3 times larger than it already was. I want to be able to fit a few rides in this area in the water. One of them being the drop ride we are building today. I decided to keep up with this old flashback recording at 20 times speed, just watching myself back and narrating because it's very easy for me to do. Saves me a lot of time. It's more time I could spend building in the actual theme park instead of editing cool time lapses. Here we are with the drop ride actually in place. Just the one that we already had completed. I copied and pasted it. I ended up just going for these 3 reddish blocks to create a gradient up to the top, making it look a little bit taller than it is because it's lighter at the top than darker at the bottom. And then I got to work on the actual crocodile's head. I started with just a circle and then I started building out around it, sculpting out this crocodile's head. I've never done anything quite this organic before, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I just had a reference image open on my other screen, so I was always able to see what a crocodile looks like in real life, what I need to be paying attention to, its defining features, the colors that it uses, and all the shapes, of course. There's the top half of the head pretty much shaped out, and now I'm gonna just copy it over to the other side, make some big adjustments because we don't want it to be symmetrical. There we go, closing up the mouth a little bit, making the shape perfect. I think that is a pretty good shape for the head. Well, this is what we have so far. It's a crocodile. His mouth is wide open, swallowing a giant red tower that you're gonna drop down, and yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm having second thoughts. This is very difficult. I'm trying my hardest not to just restart and do something completely different. But while I think on it, we can at least give the ride a test. This is of course not filled with water. It will be eventually, but I wanted to build the actual structure first. We can just get on the pig like so, press the button, and hopefully this will work. Go up the crocodile's mouth, please. Yeah, it's working. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's not good. And I think that the timing needs to be longer, of course, so that we have more time to just sit up there, take in the view, build up some suspense for the drop, and then I think the ride system is perfect. But the ride design, it still needs a lot of work. I ended up making a duplicate tower at one point, and I had an idea of having a snake with a giant tongue sticking out of it. Made more sense than a crocodile with a giant tongue, but I ended up not liking the design, not liking the scale of it, and I ended up going for the crocodile in the end, which it looks much better anyways. And then once I realized that, I went back to the crocodile and finished shaping out the rest of its body. Here I am, making a little arm for it to be on top of a rock, because that's going to be the only way that we're going to be able to get on the ride, as if we surround the actual system at the bottom with some rocks, because we can't fit it all inside of the crocodile's belly. So I just made it leaning up on some rocks so that we can have it halfway underneath the water and have it make sense why he can stick up his head so vertically like that. And then my good friend Chili ended up getting on the server, seeing my gnarly redstone over there, and coming up with a better system for the ride that is also spam proof, so that people can't press a button a lot of times in a row and break the system, as there is some delay between rides that it needs to reset. So she ended up coming up with this really nice design that's super compact, does everything that we want it to do. We put it into the ride and tested it out, and it works like a charm. The hopper system sets it up so that you can place any amount of items in the hoppers to decide how long it's going to take for the ride to go back down after launching up. So it's possible to have a ride of any size with this system, and it even has a ready light already hooked up for the ride. Oh, but while we were talking about what Chili was doing, look how busy I was. I shaped out the entire body of the crocodile along with its tail sticking up into the air. Look how happy this guy is, even though he's got a giant drop ride shoved in his mouth. I made his eyes using some dried kelp blocks, and I'm going to use a lot more glass than that alongside the entire thing to make all of the shapes a little smoother. That's a little hack that I know how to use for organics. Glass panes are your best friend. And then I came back down to the bottom to do some more rocks. We can't just have one rock, lonely rock that he's climbing on top of. We gotta have some rocks for his legs and rocks surrounding all of those rocks to make it look like a natural environment for the crocodile to play around in. So I used Axiom to create a bunch of different rocks of different shapes, different sizes, different colors. And here we go. What a cool leg he has. That's so awesome. Wow, that sure is some crocodile. This was the very first organic build I've done. Quite like this. I mean, the clouds are kind of organic, but that was just different. This was like shaping and modeling an entire animal. I think it turned out pretty good. For a minute there, I was doubting myself, and I tried out a different design. Yeah, I don't think I like it. Let's remove it. Now, I'm gonna make a tunnel underneath here that leads into the ride through this rock. And here's our ride vehicle, a skeleton horse. It took a while for me to figure out how to ride a skeleton horse in creative mode, but I figured out I could do it just by doing this command and then killing all of the skeletons except for the one horse that I would like. And these ones are rideable. Awesome. But unfortunately, the ones that you spawn from a spawn egg, you can't ride them. Why? I have no idea. Because the zombie horse does this as well. Why don't you let me ride you? We're gonna build the floor roundabout here. Here's a look at the redstone that Chili did. An amazing system. How about we give this ride a go? Oh, what the heck? Oh, we're going so high in the sky. What a view we have of the park. And uh-oh, we're not the, wait, why did we stop? What happened? This is why we do tests. Oh, there was a glass. That'll do it. Mr. Horse, I really want to ride this ride, so please make it up to the top this time. Oh, don't give me a kiss. You don't need to do that. It's a little bit too much. We can do it. Let's go through the gator's mouth. Crocodile. It's a crocodile. And we're going so high. Oh, I can see my house from here. Not really, but here we are. Uh-oh. Oh! Wow, and a little bounce at the end there. What a fun experience that was. Unfortunately, we can't ride rides all day in this amusement park. We got work to do. Uh-oh. Oh, it looks like my tongue. We have fun here. Our crocodile needs to be textured. It can't all just be green terracotta and green concrete. Let's throw some more blocks in there. How about some moss blocks? How about some mossy cobblestone? How about even some jungle wood, mangrove wood, and maybe some dark prismarine? I think we can work with this. We just have to look at it from far away. Yeah, I'm not sure about that dark prismarine. I think we're gonna go with those left 4. And last but not least, the most important thing is we have to move all of it up. This crocodile is at here on the water line. That's the water line, okay? The entire rock is going to be underwater. We want to move the water line to like there, maybe a little bit higher. But once the water is in and everything is textured, this place is going to start coming together real quick. All right, it is time to texture this bad boy. Using Axiom, it took a few tries, but I ended up painting it onto the crocodile just like so. And now he has shadows and highlights. And the mossy cobblestone on top is important because I'll be able to use stairs and slabs to create those little bumps that crocodiles have on them. I definitely did a lot of changing after Axiom did most of the work. I went in and smoothed it all out, made it all make sense. A lot of this doesn't need to be as shadowed as it is. I go back through and make everything look much, much better by hand. Just like this. Yes, that is much better. Look how much nicer he looks. And now we can work on these little arms and we can add the glass panes just like I said. Look how much smoother the head looks with those glass panes, and also some mossy cobblestone walls. It allows you to play with much more shapes than you would be with just full blocks, and it's already looking awesome. If I was a kid and I saw this ride, I would refuse to go on it. It is scary looking. Oh no, he's gone. Ah, he's back. Look, we raised him up a few blocks. Now the water level is at a correct height. But then you'll never guess what I worked on next. Of course you all knew it was the rocks. I tripled the amount of rocks in the area and it looks so much more natural now. Oh yes, look at all those rocks, and they're all shaded as well. Look at me, I'm doing some digging. What a productive construction worker I am. And then once the tunnel was fully dug out, I ended up painting another gradient here for the landscape. I don't want it to all be just a bunch of dirt in this tunnel. It's got to be a nice place where you walk through to get onto the ride. It's got to build some suspense. It's got to be a little eerie, a little creepy, a little bit of whimsy, never hurt anybody. So we made this place all mossed up. But for now, I had an idea to upgrade this tunnel even further. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is a one nice textured gator. I mean, crocodile. I also made this sign. It's not gonna stay. I'm definitely gonna make improvements. I think I had an idea. What if I have a second crocodile here with its mouth open? You enter through the crocodile's mouth to go onto the ride. And this cave, I can keep it the same how it is, like in the central bit, but I want to make it look like you're inside the body of a crocodile. Have some blood-colored blocks, have a rib cage, all kinds of stuff like that. And the same with in here. I have some staircases laid out, an operator booth set up. Just sit in here, make sure the ride's going okay, check the cameras. Right now I have night vision on. This is all going to be pretty dark when that's not like that. But yes, that's another update. Let's finish this thing. Here we are, embracing the idea of going through a crocodile's body, building a rib cage that you'll have to walk through to get onto the ride. Texturing it up, very nice, and replacing the walls around it. Look at this upgrade. And then I had to go back through the entire cave, add some more vegetation down here, the leaves, and some lighting, just as dim as possible, to add to the ominous feeling. And now let's build the entryway. I brought a copy of the top of the head of the crocodile over. I turned it sideways so that we can make the teeth into the sign. I decided the text was kind of hard to read, so I added a little bit of a black background behind them to make it easier to read. Don't worry, I changed this out later for something better. But yeah, you can clearly read that says CROC drop. Even though the top of the head is a direct copy from the other crocodile, well, so is this portion. But then I had to go through and actually do work by hand to complete the rest of the crocodile. There we go. I switched it out for some red blocks. That makes it blend so much nicer. I'm so glad I did that. And now the sign is looking good. And then it was time to fill the entire lake with water. And then I went in with a biome brush and made this entire biome a swamp to give the water that distinct grayish blue color. And now it is time for some terraforming. We started off with just the pathways, creating a hole in the center of this path, and I built this entire mountain. That mountain is messier than the mud is. But don't worry, we'll get that mountain all smooth. Oh my gosh, that was quick. And then I added a bunch of random clumps of mangrove roots in random directions. The next thing we did was texture all of the grassy areas to be more mossy, with a gradient going down to the mud to make it darker around the edges. And then I built some support beams, with this gradient going from the mud, connecting up to the paths holding them up. And then I finally experimented with a few different railing designs, ended up going for some gray stained glass panes, and I put a ring around the entire main path so that nobody's falling down into the muddy areas. We wouldn't want to have any accidents now, would we? And then finally, I marked out some spaces for future trees to go with some pink wool. This one's going to be the biggest tree in the entire area. In order to block the crocodile from view from the boardwalk, it's going to have some leaves that are drooping over so that hopefully it won't be able to be seen much from the hot air balloon ride, but yeah, that's going to be kind of hard to avoid, but at least it looks pretty cool from here. And then we have a small tree, a medium tree leading up to it to create that scaling effect, just like I mentioned earlier. And then I realized just how badly the pink wool was standing out, so I colored them all with some mangrove wood, and that is our finished area for today. Well, I've worked and I've worked and I've worked and I've worked and I've worked some more. And this place is looking really, really nice. The path itself took the longest amount of time because I wanted to really sell the idea that you get smaller and smaller. So I made the path get wider and wider as you go through. The trees are really going to start to sell that idea once I have those in. Right now they're just stumps, but I can't find myself to build all these trees in this episode as well. We've done enough work today. So as people walk towards the crocodile, they won't see it because there's going to be a giant tree in the way. I'm definitely going to use these to obstruct views. It's going to look good. I don't want to be able to see everything from other areas in other areas. That's why this mountain is large as well. As I walk farther, the path gets wider. these little streaks get wider, the mountain itself gets taller, and we make it onto the bridge where we can look down at the muddiness of the ground, really sell this idea of a swampy area. I have lots of ideas. I want to have a little bit of a group of houses right here. Not houses, like buildings, like a restaurant maybe. We'll see. And also maybe some stuff up here. I made some paths, but now I'm thinking it might be better just to have some buildings alongside the edges of the path instead of having people go up on top of this mountain where they'll be able to see this stuff. Unless I build some more trees, which I probably will. And on this side, I blended it in with the boardwalk path, and it gets bigger much faster this way because there's less path to walk down. Anyways, there's also this little hole in the center where you can look down. I definitely want to add some like animals rolling around in the mud down here. But here is our main attraction, CROC Drop. Look at this picture frame. The sign of the ride along with this tree is going to make a perfect frame of the drop ride. Ooh, look how menacing. And of course, our beautiful sign. I love this thing. I think it turned out so good. And CROC Drop, you can read it pretty clearly. Oops, I missed a spot. But how about we head inside and have a ride on the finished CROC Drop attraction. Oh my goodness, the suspense builds as we walk through the tunnel. The skeleton above us, all of the nether blocks make it look like we're inside of the alligator. And here is his neck coming up. We're going up to the head. Here we are at the ride. This light is on. That means the ride is ready for us to go. Let's hit the button. Have a ride on the ride. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at this view. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool with the new swampy area terraforming. Oh, wow. I'm scared. Uh-oh. No! Oh, that wasn't so bad. But once I finished the ride, I had myself an idea. What if I do a special Christmas holiday live stream working on the theme park? Specifically, the carousel. I would like to upgrade this entire carousel. I have a to-do list already written of things that I would like to fix and upgrade on the carousel. And since it's so close to Christmas, how about I make it a special holiday Christmas live stream? But I've worked very hard to make this live stream my best live stream I've ever done. So be there or be square will be on this YouTube channel today at 6 p.m. Pacific time. But I have done so much work to make this live stream special, and it's gonna probably be the best stream I've ever streamed. So be there or be square. It'll be today at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I hope to see you there, and if you missed it, there's probably a VOD on the channel, so go check it out if you're interested. I would just like to get one last look at what we have done in this episode with some shaders on. Look how beautiful this is. And at night, it is extra menacing. Let's do one last ride. Let's walk in to CROC Drop. Oh yes. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, I'd really appreciate if you left a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Let me know in the comments down below what you think I should add to the theme park, anything I should change, any suggestions for the new areas. I want to hear all of your criticisms. And if you want to work with me side by side on this project, might I suggest joining the Discord server down in the description. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Later!